Arn, the build to Clash of the Champions continues on. They have you and Rick taking on Flying Brian and Bobby Eaton in a tag match, and that's going to air on June 9th on the main event. And we have it, second clip of the week. We have the final 4 minutes of this one, and it really helped get the fans ready for the Clash. So let's take a look at it. And this all went down prior to Clash of the Champions. It's June 9th, 1991, the NWA main event.
Pillman needs to make the tag to Beautiful Bobby. And you can hear the impact from these two. Pillman climbs on top. As Beautiful Bobby anxiously awaits the tag. He'd like to get back in. May have been a low blow there by the Nature Boy. Flair drops the knee right across the face of Flying Brian. And now Arn Anderson is a legal man. He's back in the ring. I should say he's a legal man as he takes Flying Brian outside and wraps his leg around the steel ring post. And again, Anderson using the ring post for leverage. What a night it will be in the magnificent Omni in Atlanta on Sunday, June the 23rd. Get your tickets early for that one. We'll talk more about that big event tonight on AM 750 WSB at 9 o'clock. Of course, that's an Eastern time start for the radio broadcast this evening. Flair has made the tag. They're working on the leg of Flying Brian. How will this affect Flying Brian Wednesday night when the stakes are extremely high? The loser of the fall must leave WCW Wednesday night. Pillman to the right. Brian should certainly try to make the tag. Flair tried to prevent it, but he couldn't. Here comes Beautiful Bobby with rights and lefts, netting Flair. Beautiful Bobby with a high backdrop on Flair. 2 out of 3 falls with these two individuals. A right hand by Beautiful Bobby. Eaton tosses Flair back inside. Oh, what a chop by Flair. He raked the eyes there, says Eaton for the ride. But Beautiful Bobby caught him. He got him with a neck breaker. He's going for the cover, but Anderson prevented it. He would have had Flair right there. Pillman back in, nails double A. And Beautiful Bobby and Flair. It's Eaton with the advantage. Beautiful Bobby building some momentum going into Wednesday night. This tremendous crowd really getting into this one. Eaton chases Flair down the aisle. Referee's calling for the bell. I think we got a count out. Fans will be back on TBS. Don't go away.
All right, a couple things to point out before we get into the match itself. First of all, I love JR talking about his WSB radio broadcast. Arn, I didn't know if you know this or not, but the folks at Ad Free Shows were able to get their hands on all the cassettes of his original WSB radio broadcast from this time period, and they use that as bonus content over on Ad Free Shows. They have the original recordings of all those shows.
Isn't that's cool? That's cool history.
Yeah. So that's all available over there. So it was cool to hear him refer to that. Secondly, referee Bill Alfonso. For those of you that are old ECW fans, Bill Alfonso is your referee in the ring. And so it was kind of cool to see him doing that match. The third thing I want to bring out from that clip is Brian Pillman. Man, we've been seeing him wrestle with you guys on the Horsemen against you since February of 91, and he just felt like the jack of all trades. Wherever they needed to plug him in an angle, whether it's with Elegante, whether it's here with Bobby Eaton, he was immediate babyface and made the match relevant and work, and he was just so good back then.
He was the Arn Anderson of the babyface crew.
Perfectly said. Yes, you can see that in these clips.
It could fit anywhere you needed him, from the first match of the night to the second to the main event. He could make it happen, and there was that name again, Brian Pillman, inserted in those important matches.
Yep.
because he can make it fly, and he belonged. And at this point, he was built to the point that he was a player, and the audience knew it, and they got behind him. And he was, when you plugged him into one of your matches, if it wasn't a personal issue, the value of that match went up anyway because of Brian being in it.
And listen, that match obviously ended in a no contest, DQ, whatever you want to call it, but it did the job with the storytelling to build for Clash 15. I mean,
Yeah.
the crowd was on their feet.
Yeah, you didn't have to. I mean, you got your wins on TV most of the time. There was occasionally that you had top guys against top guys, and if you wanted them to watch the Clash of the Champion or buy a pay-per-view match, you didn't give them finishes leading up to it because that's what they wanted to see, and that's what they're willing to pay for. You had a lot of DQs in those days when it was top guys. Things would just get out of hand, and that's the way it was, and it was accepted, and it worked.